What's going on? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Production. Today, Bancroft joining on once again to do another deck profile. Not just any deck profile, but Android 21. This is the clone variant one. So, yeah, keep in mind, there's buttons down below. There's links. Click them. Check them out. Help us out. Help you out. You know, fun stuff. Android 21. When this card is placed in your loot area, you choose the one Android 21 scheme. Play it from your deck. So, pretty much, boom, fill the cards active. Fantastic. Activate main. Choose one clone token in your opponent's battle area. Remove from the game, draw one card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost 1, return it to its owner's hand. Then, at the start of your opponent's next main phase, choose up to one of your blue-green multicolored cards and switch to active mode. Awakens draw 2, and if you could work it out correctly, you could pop a token, awaken, and then activate main again on this side. And initially, you're drawing 4 cards in that one turn, and you're restaining 2 multicolored energies during your opponent's next main phase because this side, activate main, is pretty much the exact same, which is, yeah, cool. And that's the leader. Alright, Android 21 scheme. When you play this, the leader, you get to play this card, which is kind of like the summoning sickness of cards. But there is a catch to this. So, auto, once per turn, when you or your opponent plays a non-token battle card, it can't attack for the duration of the turn. The kicker there is that you or your opponent, so if your opponent swings at you, and then you you negate with a battle card or something like that, or you play a card in response to them attacking, that will proc this auto. So it means any card they play afterwards is for a game. And also vice versa. If I swing at my opponent and force them to play a battle card, then I can play any card afterwards, and it gets past the summoning sickness. When you play a black battle card, place it in the owner's drop area, so you do not play Overwhelm. Auto, at the start of your opponent's main phase, you play 2 clone tokens with 10,000 power in your opponent's battle area. Gives them cards, and you gotta stop them. We'll go over those cards later to help you stop your opponent from swinging with tokens. So, the way you start this deck off is that you want to charge 1 or 2 cards, either charging Super 17. It ignores energy exhaust if your leader is 21, and it has activate main, which is kind of the in-game strategy. For initially 7 energy, just declare, 7 energy, 2 blue, 2 green, 3 whatever. You play this card from your energy, then you put the 3 energy cards, but energy costs 5 or less from your energy area. So you could play this card first, you wait for your opponent's response, and then you play the other cards afterwards. The other option to charge, the reason why I went down to 3 instead of, we used to play 4, is because we play 5 of the new Android 18, which is actually the reason why I built this deck. She has a very similar permanent. If your leader card is blue Android card, negate this card's energy exhaust skill in all areas. So initially it's a turn 1 charge as well. Or you can pay 3 to rival this card, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 whatever. It is a crit. Auto, when this card is played, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and up to 1 card in your opponent's hand. Place in the bottom of their deck in any order. That's really great, especially if you're playing them off Super 17. So if you have 2 of these in your energy and you have 1 Bad Omen, you're initially getting rid of two cards from their hand, getting rid of 1 of their energy, which we'll go over Bad Omen in a bit. The activate main on this card allows you to search. So activate main, limit 1. Discard this card from your hand. Look up to 5 cards on top of your deck. Add up to 1 blue Android card. Energy costs 5 or less among them to your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So because this card can search if I need it to, I went down on Android 18 from a 4 to a 3. Theoretically, you could go back up to 4 on this and remove 1 of the Sense of Beings because Sense of Being is now primarily a defensive card. But when this card is played, look up top 5 cards of your deck, choose to 1 blue or green Android card among them, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. Auto, when you play this card, activate this skill at the end of your turn. You may choose 1 of your multicolor blue-green cards in your energy, return to your hand. If you do, choose 1 card in your hand, and I get to charge it. So initially, if I happen to draw into a Bad Omen during my turn after charging, I can, at the end of my turn, switch out the energies and then charge that Bad Omen. Then once I swing past my opponent's turn, the leader's active main gets to restand that energy to active mode anyway, so it works out in that favor. And another searcher, because we did some adjustments to this deck, 2 intersecting fates. Activate main, if your leader card is blue, look up to 2 cards on top of your deck, add up to 1 card and 1 of them to your hand, then place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. At the end of your turn, switch up to 1 of your mono blue energies to active mode. There's plenty of cards that will be blue, and it just helps us restand energy during our opponent's turn. But the primary thing is just getting the search top 2 cards and adding cards that we need to our hand, and don't worry about other cards afterwards. So it's kind of like the early turn plays, like particularly turn 1 plays right there for you. To deal with your opponent's clone tokens that you're giving them, 4 of the Unison Super Android 13 It's a fantastic unison for this deck. Unfortunately, going into the next set, this unison gets hurt really badly because it is a specific 2 cost. And there's a card that would immediately just kill this card regardless of how many markers are on it. But Activate Main, if you don't have a unison in play and you choose one of your opponent's clone tokens, remove it from the game, you play this card from your hand in rest mode with a marker on it. It has a +2 afterwards with Activate Main. Activate Main, one of your mono... Choose one... Oh my god, I forgot. It doesn't say the word choose. One of your mono blue leader cards gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. So you pretty much just give your Android 21 a 5k boost. So it's like giving System Bean during your turn. Your opponent clone tokens can't attack during your opponent's next turn. So even if this card is popped, that effect still stays in, and your opponent can't attack those clone tokens afterwards. And being a +2, it does build up pretty quickly. It does have -4, which is Activate Battle, which is fantastic. This card gets plus 11,000 power, gets double strike, so it pretty much becomes a 25k double strike if your opponent forgets to negate this card's attack. And we also have 3 of the Android 16s for his mother. There's a lot of cards in this deck that will just search top 5 for a blue Android. So I went down to 3, so I do have 4/3. As long as I see one of these on my turn 1, I'm pretty much good. I controlling my opponent's clone tokens. But this card can't be used in a combo from the battle area, and your opponent's clone tokens can't attack. So that's a permanent. So as long as you establish this card, boom, they're good to go. Even if you don't have the units, as long as he's still still on your board, you're fine. Auto, when a clone token is played by a skill of one of your extra cards, you play 2 clone tokens in your opponent's battle area. So initially, you'll give your opponent 4 clone tokens. Yeah, it's going to happen. Activate Main, remove one of your opponent's clone tokens from the game, play this card from your hand or drop. So even if you combo this card from your drop area, from your hand, you can turn around and then just play it from your drop afterwards. And those are ways you kind of just suppress your opponent from swinging with clone tokens. Because this deck likes to get to high energy very quickly, we do play 4 of the Android 16 energy amplification. For 2 energy, you're playing this card, and then if you have a blue-green multicolor card in your energy, when this card is played from your hand, you play top card of your deck in your energy in rest mode, and then you can't play battle cards with an energy cost between 30,000 and 35,000 for duration of turn. That's it. We do play the extra card that goes with that. It's a 1-drop extra card that negates the attack, and then if your leader card is blue 21 and you have a blue-green multicolor card in your energy, choose to one of your Android 16 cards with energy cost 2 or less from your hand, and you get to play it. So initially, for 1 energy during my opponent's turn, I can just negate and then play Android 16, which works out great. Helps us get to where we need to get to by potentially turn 5, sometimes 4 if you're lucky. Bad Omen, mentioned earlier, naturally energy cost 5, but has an Activate Main for 2 blue, 2 green. Play the card from your energy, and auto choose 1 card in your energy, place it in your drop area. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and up to 1 of your opponent's life. Place them in the owner's drop areas. Like I said, you want to charge these cards and then play them off Super 17's effect, because if it doesn't kill your opponent, a lot of times I would do this effect, give down to 1 life, and then have swings afterwards, or I try to swing as much as possible and then pop these 2 afterwards. I only play 2 in the main. I don't play them in the side right now, but truth be told, I should have a 3rd one on this side to be safe. Other options for in-game, if it's needed, I just play 1 of the Android 17 and 18 Siblings Revive. It has the flex, so it's coming into play. Double Strike is dual attack. When this card is played, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, place them in the owner's drop area. At the end of your turn, switch up to 1 of your blue energies to active mode. It is 8 energy to play this card. Pretty big, but like I said, it's a dual attack double strike, and it pops your opponent's board to some degree. Auto, when this card attacks, choose your opponent reveals their hand, and you choose 2 cards and place them in their energy and rest mode. So that auto goes off before you attack, so you get to look. I mean, they get to negate, but you get to take key cards out and put them into the energy. And since it has 2 attack, it's initially getting rid of 4 cards. So for some reason, I'm having a bad day. I'm not seeing any of the bad omens. This is another option after I've done a lot of ramping. Even though unisons are becoming less and less a thing, we got this Android 16, which is a rival blue-green for 1 blue or green. It's a blocker. Permanent, if you have a blue-green card in your energy, reduce the combo cost of this card by 1. So initially, it's still a free 5k combo, but it's a blue-green card. You switch this card to active mode at the end of your turn, so you can play it, you can swing with it, then in your turn, you reset it to be blocking. Activate Battle, if it's your opponent's turn, and you KO this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's unisons and remove a marker from it. So if you're playing against one of those tall unison decks, this is an option for that. And actually, in conjunction to this deck, depending on what they're playing, you can always block, and they go, okay, cool, just leave it at 15. We can always turn around and just combo with our super combo, which we do play Zeno, because it is a ramp deck, and we are blindly ramping from the top of our deck. So Zeno comes in handy for bringing cards back to our hand that we want to keep and hang on to. But you could just combo the first attack, keep them alive, and then when they attack again, if it's a unison, activate battle, and just, it kind of puts that little threat on there, like, okay, if they swing up to unison afterwards, I can just remove its skills practically by removing a marker from it. Counterplays. We play 2 Android 18s, let the battle begins. It's initially 1 energy as long as you have a unison on board that's an energy cost 2 or more. Specify cost 2 or more. And it's 1 cost, like I said, the card that's being played gets placed in the drop area if it's energy cost 4 or less. Keep in mind, if your opponent hasn't played a card yet for the turn, and you play this will proc your leader's auto beforehand. So you just gotta be careful with that. But this is a blocker to help you protect from another hit afterwards. So let them play a card first, then on the second card, if this meets the requirements, counterplay it. Because we play Unison, 3 guys having Trunks, because it's good. We get used up pretty quickly. I'm still running 3 Sense of Beans, but like I said, truth be told, I could probably bring 1 of the Sense of Beans down for a Bad Omen. Since being no longer used for offensive, though then again, this deck's a ramp deck, I really never needed to use this as a offensive push. I've always used this as a defensive means. But I could definitely go down to 2 instead, or put 1 extra in the side and go down 2 and have a 3rd Bad Omen here. Dimension Magics, because it's good for blue. 2 Shields Reinforcing Armies. And 1 Hatch, because like I said, our real goal is just to pay 7 and play a bunch of cards for my energy, and then hopefully go for a game with that. But as the core deck in itself, we're going to go over the sideboard first, and then go over the Z battle cards afterwards. So I play 1 of the Android 16 Star Wars Defender. It's a rival blue-green for 1 blue energy. When this card is played, you can't play copies of this card for the turn. Choose 1. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less, KO it. Or if your leader card is a blue energy card, add up to 1 blue Android 16 of energy cost 2 or less from your deck to your hand to shove your deck afterwards. So it helps me search for the ramp cards if I need that, or I can pop a card. And like I said, we're comboing off those other ones for free. So 2 of the 6-drop 16 is dual attack, blocker, revenge. It costs 2 to play it using a rival. And then auto, if your leader card is blue or green, when you play this card or use it in a combo from your hand, choose up to 1. Either your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, discards, or you place up to 1 blue Android card of energy cost of 1 from your deck to your draw and shuffle your afterwards. It's a good way of finding the 1-drop 16 early on if you're not seeing it for some reason. But primarily you're just using it to get rid of a card from opponent's hand, and then you have a block revenge afterwards. Additional counterplays, because they're just good, and sometimes I need to switch these out instead of using the other 18, because like I said, these are just extra cards and they serve their own purpose. So Absolutely Small can initially be free by energy cost terms. Even though I ramp so much, it's not necessary to use the permanent on this card, but it is 1 energy to counterplay. But if your leader card is blue and your life is 4 or less, if the battle card being played has energy cost 3 or less, you return it to its owner's hand instead of being played. Then you choose it to 1 of your blue energies, switch it to active mode. So depending on what's happening there, this could be a better option. Initially, it's free, especially in this ramp deck, because I'll have plenty of energy to tap 1 for its effect and then be able to resend energy right afterwards. Desperate Measures. If the battle card your opponent plays energy cost 2 or less, return it to its owner's hand instead of being played. Then choose it to 1 of your blue battle cards, energy cost 3 or less, return to their hand. An interesting strategy I've done before was that I returned the 2-drop 16s back to my hand to replay it afterwards. So gives you more variety there if I need to. 3 or 2 energies. Because decks that go tall are a thing. 30 burst. Decks that go tall. SS2 Trunks, Heroic Prospect. Negate, during your opponent's turn, reduce energy cost of this card. If you instant play, reduce energy cost by 2. And then when this card is played, your opponent can't attack with battle cards of energy cost greater than the current energy for the turn unless they choose 2 cards in their hand and place them in the drop area. Bottom of their deck. 2 East guys to control my opponent from playing cards in my turn. If they want to get rid of a card, go right ahead. In the current meta, the decks tend to draw a lot, so it might not be a problem, but it's a 1 cost that draws me a card. And for extra battle card support, Murray Chimps, it's just a good, it could potentially be a dual attack, 25k, double strike, and that's just really good. It has barriers to protect it. I was thinking about adding in the Vegetas and stuff like that that are in Friezas, I think, Friezas and Cells and whatnot, that require, that are free to play by popping tokens. But I like the idea of just ramping and then playing cards afterwards. And then finish up, we're going to go over to the Z deck. Nothing really new. 2 of the 1-drop Gokus. Initially, you can get crit for a turn, and then you can use their effect to pop a 5 cost. Cell to clear boards, doesn't get past barrier, but initially can be a triple strike crit. And then 2 Vegetas, because like I said, this deck does ramp a lot, so having an extra triple strike or even a blocker can become in handy. So that's 21. Hope you all enjoyed. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below. There's links in the description. Click those if you're interested. It helps us out, and it may help you out. Read your cards, know your plays, and fluff out.